see, here we are now on the eve of the crown chakra. And what this means is that just before the chakra above activates, the one below gets excessive. And where we are now is we're on this eve of the crown chakra. Now, there's a couple of things that are happening. First of all, spirituality went a little bit toxic. Don't know if any of you noticed that. All of these beautiful principles that were intended to empower started to get used to judge, to control, to manipulate, to be actually quite cruel. So this is part of the excess of the third eye. Not everyone's doing it, but you've probably seen it. I actually took a real step back from spirituality when that was happening. People were associating me with that, and that's really everything I'm against. I'm all for empowerment and bringing balance to the force. So the crown chakra, it's about clarity, decisiveness, understanding and perceiving the truth, personal responsibility, no longer being a victim to circumstances, having true access to the higher self and super consciousness, and this idea of transcendence. Transcendence, we're going to come back to that a lot. The clue is in the transcendent awakening of humanity and the cycle of transcendent awakening. I'm big on transcendence. I actually have been doing some research on it. I'm trained in a methodology to help people access transcendent states. I will try not to dive too much into the brain science, but suffice to say, people often have this. This is one of the things that is about toxic spirituality and how we move beyond this. So people often say, just trust your intuition. It's always right. And it's like, I don't know about you, but I don't want a dentist or a brain surgeon or my doctor to have no training or logical study whatsoever because they're an intuitive dentist. No, I want somebody who's got the skills, who's got the learning. So it's what I'm suggesting, it is not intuition or logic. It is intuition and logic. And that happens when we are in transcendence. And in fact, when they do the PET scans of people, what's happening in people's brains, when people are intuitive, it tends to be more the emotional parts of their brain, the right hemisphere, the kind of creative, dreamlike state, really useful for creativity. When you're in pure intuition, your prefrontal cortex, logical brain shuts down. It's always thought that it's either or. When you're in a transcendent state, you actually have both operating and something magical happens. When you step into a transcendent state, the default mode network shuts down. What is the default mode network? That is the part of the brain that tells you you are you and not everything. When you're in a transcendent state, it's like a flow state when, you know, those flow states where you're just concentrating on what you're doing, you lost your self-awareness, but you're still highly present to whatever it is you're doing. But a transcendent state also has all of the intuition, all of the higher wisdom switched on as well. So you have this loss of separation between self and others. You're no longer self-conscious, you are in super consciousness. But you also have your logical, rational brain turned on. And this is the real power of a transcendent state, because it's no longer either or, it is both.